Literally go around the world and meet the people that are been my heroes, my iconic figures. And I did it in a different way. Instead of talking about money and wealth and prosperity, I talked about not quitting. Because it seems like so many people in our lives quit, and I'm a quitter. I don't know about you, but I've always been a quitter. I quit sales, I quit marketing, I quit marriage. Anything that got hard, I always quit. And I wanted to stop that. So I took it upon a life journey to go interview amazing people to find out what they did to not quit. And one of the first people I interviewed was a guy named Dave Lineker. Now, you don't know him, but you kind of know his business. He wanted to get into real estate in 1970. And I says, what was it like? He says, it was horrible. For 2 years, every phone call that came in was from a bill collector because all the money ran out. He goes, I'd run across the hall and I'd pick up the phone so my secretary wasn't put on the spot. He said the third year they threw me in jail calling me a liar and a fraud. I said, what'd you do? He says, I took my attitude from trying to prove everyone else wrong to just prove myself right. I knew I wasn't what everyone else was calling me, making me out to be. He said, I had the courage to pick up the phone. I called all those bill collectors and says, look, I don't got 50 grand I owe you, but I got 50 bucks. I'll send it to you today with a promise that I won't quit. Don't give up on me. He says he called every bill collector till the 4th year. Someone finally believed in him, bought the first business, and that's called Remax Real Estate Corporation. And from there, I went around and I met with another gentleman named Truett Cathy who started Chick-fil-A restaurants. You ever heard of Chick-fil-A? Yeah. Amazing, cool place, right? Yeah. And I asked him, I says, tell me your story about stickability. I mean, what is it that makes you persevere? Why didn't you quit through your most challenging times? And he said the greatest little quote for me. He says that a mountaineer, a guy that actually climbs a mountain, does something different than a regular person. I says, what? He says, entrepreneurs, everyone here wants to be an entrepreneur pretty much in their life, right? Yeah. Well, here's the challenge of most things. Have you ever heard that 85% of businesses fail the first year? Yeah. Do you know why that is? Because they don't act like a mountaineer. And I'm going to tell you what that is. See, a mountaineer will climb up about 20 feet, and they'll tie themselves off. And they'll go up about another 20 feet, and they'll tie themselves off. Well, a normal guy who gets all excited, a regular entrepreneur, they want to go to the top of the mountain, but as soon as they start climbing and they slip, what happens? They fall all the way to the bottom. And they die. And that's why 85% of businesses fail. That 15% that succeed, here's what they do. They go 10 feet up, 20 feet up, and tie themselves off. Because eventually when they make their mistake, which we all do, they only go down 20 feet. And then they can go back up to where they started from. They don't go all the way to the bottom. So the secret for success for him is to make sure that you give yourself a little bit of a safety net. A little bit of a, I don't know, a nest egg, so to speak.
So that's one of my most powerful allies, which is Greg Reid. Greg and I are actually putting together a book, and it's real fantastic to have somebody like that working with PelletStovePro.com and PelletStovePro.net. You know, really his business and my business have nothing to do with each other than the fact that we are entrepreneurs, and we both go out and live our passions, and we love working with teens and adults to help their businesses do a whole lot better.